I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, been a while since I talked about buying real estate as an investment. And I get some comments in my YouTube channel here saying, "Oh, and I'm thinking about buying an investment unit. Is it a good time to buy?" Some people are saying, I had a guy here the other day just say that, he sees a modest rental portfolio being very good over the next 10 or 20 years with all the government bureaucracy, not building anything. We're building rental now, of course, but we're not building any condo in downtown Vancouver. So I got back to him and I said, I agree. I know there'll be some people that disagree with me on this. There always are. Sound like a typical realtor, always a good time to buy, always a good time to sell. But right now, we are in a kind of rarefied air right now, where we're in a balanced market. In a lot of cases, we're in a buyer's market. If you're buying luxury condos or condos priced over 1.5, detached for the most part. It depends but at the very least, it's in the low end of balanced market, perhaps slightly favoring buyers. But a lot of it, is in balanced territory, or in a few cases like good quality one beds downtown in good strata. Those are probably hovering at the high end of balanced, maybe even slightly favoring sellers. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm talking about the elite, really good quality one beds, 600 square feet that you can buy for $675 and put a tenant in for $3K. So those are rare still, and I'm still seeing the odd multiple offer situation on those. I know it's hard to believe. But overall, though, we are in balance to favoring buyers right now. And that is pretty rare, guys. I've been in this business over 30 years. I can count on one hand the number of years where we had a market that favored buyers. So, I'm with this guy. That's one of the reasons why I'm not selling anything that I own in downtown or Richmond. I'm hanging on to all of it. I've got good tenants. I think the market, it always goes in ups and downs. And we've had a couple of years here where we've been kind of treading water a little bit, or prices are down slightly on the good quality stuff. Vacancy is still very low for the downtown core overall, and high quality tenants still that have got beacon scores of 700 plus, at least all mine do for the downtown condos I own. Interest rates are coming down. Well, they're already 200 basis points below, even 250 basis points below where they peaked, and still coming down. I'm expecting at least one more interest rate cut later this summer and probably another one or two this fall. So we're going to take variable rate right now, as I look on a couple of my mortgages, are at 3.85%. I'll take that all day. And I think by the end of the year, I could be sitting at 3.25 or even a little less. That is favorable for investors. So, pretty good time to be a buyer here, either as your principal residence, which is always a good time. Forget about renting long term. But if you're an investor, you should be kicking the tires. And I'll tell you, I sell every month. As you guys know, I'm working with investors. I'm selling investment units every single month, sometimes 2 or 3, representing buyers, investors. What I always find in these markets, though, and I've talked about this the last downturn we had here during COVID, is the buyers I have now, the investor buyers, are all experienced investors. This is their second, third, fourth property. They know that, hey, I can go in, write an offer with me. We're going to write it well below asking price. We can grind out a deal. We're not getting into bidding wars, multiple offer situation. Prices are off from their peak for sure. These good high quality strata, when they in normal times get into bidding wars all the time, they'll do holdbacks on most of them, where they list it, show it for a week, then look at offers and let the offers come in. Now, a lot of the stuff that I see, most of it, including my listings, I'm not doing any holdbacks any longer. I'm just doing it offers as they come. So all in all, it's a good environment if you're a long-term buy and hold buyer like myself, either as a principal residence or as an investor. You buy it, you keep it for 15, 20 years, you're going to do well. You also read the room. Very little getting built in downtown Vancouver other than rental only, or market rental market rental buildings. Most of those were going to be stratified condos, but they've all been pretty much scrapped now for market rental. So, and the little that is getting built downtown is ultra luxury. It always will be from this point on, guys. It's all going to be starting at $2,300 a square foot up to over 5,000 a square foot. So you can still buy units in downtown Vancouver now under 1,000 a square foot. Lately, I've been buying some of these at $950 a square foot. I just sold one here on the list side at $930 a square foot. Needed a full reno, 2-bed, 2-bath, concrete building. But there's plenty of stuff out there for under $1,050 a square foot. So do the math. When everything coming online from this point on is well over $2,000 a square foot, and you can buy currently for half that price, buy it, put a tenant in, and hang on to it for 10 or 15 years. Very little new supply coming online. We're going to get a coiled spring effect here, guys. You watch. I've talked about this. In 8 or 10 years, market's going to rebound here in a couple of years. What do we have? 40, 50,000 new arrivals coming into the lower mainland every year. We're not building much. We'll build you some rental, but smart people want to own. They want a condo. They want a strata. And we're not building any more of that, at least nothing that would be considered affordable. So you do the math on it. You can buy it 1,000 a square foot today, half of what new construction is at. Keep it for 10 or 15 years. Take advantage of these low interest rates. Take advantage of the low vacancy. Rental rates are still near all-time high. They're probably off a little bit, but typical one bedroom is up over $1,000 a month from 2020. Overall, pretty good environment. But of course, it's tough to preach this, especially to first-time investors, because they'll say, well, I'm getting paid to wait. And yeah, you are getting paid to wait, although the market's kind of just treading water here. So for sure, wait it out. Wait till later in the summer or fall or whatever, but you're probably never going to time the bottom. Keep that in mind, and markets can shift on a dime. We get a couple more interest rate cuts. All of a sudden, some listings come out. Realtors decide to start doing holdbacks. More buyers start coming in. Now, instead of you being able to write an offer and negotiate it, it's you and 2 other offers, and immediately you're going to get a $20,000 price spike on that one bet. That's how it goes. I've seen it over and over again. So, but take your time if you want. But what I am finding is the people that I am representing right now as far as investors are all pretty much experienced investors. They've been through these markets before. They see a good window here. They're long-term buyer and holder. Put a tenant in it and hang on to it. Use the leverage and all that other good stuff I talk about. So that's what we're at. Again, we'll see where the market goes later this summer. The final thing I'll say, guys, just before I sign off here, if you look at my YouTube channel here, and along the side there you see all those recommended videos, and I oftentimes are going through YouTube. Do you guys notice how just about every single YouTube video from Vancouver or Toronto, or it doesn't matter, is just absolutely sky is falling, market is crashing, the end is near, we're all going to die. It's unbelievable. Now, YouTube has always been like that, because I've told you guys, there's 2 types of people on YouTube that are putting videos on YouTube. There's a guy like me who does not care one iota about how many clicks he gets. I'm not into YouTube for the money or the revenue they pay me for my clicks, even though I get a nice little check every month. That's not my goal with this. My goal is to give you good, tangible advice from what I'm seeing in the front lines, from an experienced realtor like myself that's been through a lot, seen a lot, been in the business over 35 years. But I just give you guys the straight goods. Most of my stuff is positive, of course, because I've seen what real estate can do for people, for me and my clients over the last 30 plus years. I don't try and trade in and out of things, just like with my investing philosophy in the stock market. I'm a buy and hold guy. Keep your friction costs low. And I still think Vancouver has got a lot of potential, and the price of real estate will continue to rise over time. We're always going to get a few years here where it treads water or goes down 5 or 10%. They don't build anything during that time. Then market picks up again, there's lack of supply, and off we go again. It's a cycle that just continues to repeat itself. But, there's people like me that offer good, and I have fiduciary duty to all my clients, and I have fiduciary duty, I feel, to you guys, to give you the truth, what's happening, what the long-term benefits of buying and holding real estate are for you. And getting out of that renter treadmill, you guys know how I work here the last 15 years. But there's another group, much bigger group of YouTube producers that are not into that. A lot of them aren't even realtors, some are, but they're about getting clicks. They're about generating revenue from YouTube. And to do that, of course, there's only one way to do it, and that is to hit you with a doom and gloom headline. The sky is falling, we're all going to die, prices plummet. Vancouver, I saw one here not long ago, Vancouver is a dump and everybody's leaving. I mean, come on, guys. Don't buy into this. These people are it's just clickbait, nothing more, nothing less. Listen, the market currently right now is balanced market. It's holding up extremely well. As a matter of fact, the high quality 1 and 2 beds, I'm actually surprised. The prices, even when we ratcheted up our interest rates, held up extremely well. Because again, we're the most desirable city in Canada by far. We're landlocked here. Mountains, water, and the agricultural land reserve. We can't build much, we never do. And this is the most desirable place to live. So we're always going to hold our value here and always will. Yes, there'll be short-term downturns, but it will recover. We're kind of in a balanced market, probably favoring buyers on a lot of product with the exception of the good quality 1 beds. But, give it another year or two and we could be back into a strong seller's market, which we probably will be. So don't buy into a lot of this stuff, that the sky is falling. It's not. They're just trying to hit you with clickbait stuff. Market overall is still fairly healthy. For sure, there's some fire sale prices you see. The pre-sale market is very bad, only because, the price per square foot that they're delivering that stuff at is far more than what tangible product is. So why would you buy? But, overall, the market is quite good. Things are selling if it's priced right. It's in a decent strata that doesn't have a bunch of issues and levies coming up. It's going to sell. Last month, so far for this month, and I'm shooting this in late June, I've already registered 4 or 5 sales this month. Some of them I had to reduce once or even twice, but there's a buyer for them out there. So overall market's functioning pretty well. The sky's not falling, sure. Pre-sale, maybe some luxury stuff, and then maybe, of course, I always tell you guys about the dogs. There's always lots of dog units out there that are bad strata, lots of issues coming up, $500,000 insurance deductibles, all that stuff that you don't see in the listing, of course. You got to dig a little deeper, and you'll see those selling at, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 off their list price. Well, their list price was overinflated to begin with, and what you're buying isn't that great. So you've got to read between the lines with a little bit of this stuff. Overall market's balanced, probably favoring buyers for most of the product. Again, sky's not falling though, guys. And I think, as we move out of summer here, interest rates are going to come down a bit more. Again, the cavalry's not on the way for supply, so give it a little while and we'll see where it goes this fall and into next year. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. See you next week.